Welcome to the GainzCast. I'm Marc Lobliner alongside
Matt Marano.
So we have a very fun. This is gonna be the best. I will give you this one. This will be our best podcast yet. It'll be the best GainzCast ever.
I'm looking forward to it.
Because we have someone who gives even less fucks than us, and maybe even less fucks than Chris Jones, which is hard to do.
Yeah, Chris Jones doesn't give many fucks.
No, he's a fuck-free person. So anyway, speaking of the word fuck, this man uses it more than anyone I've ever met, and that is Alan Roberts, Every Damn Day Fitness. What's up, brother?
What's going on, man? I still wish I could have actually not put fitness on the last name of that now. Whenever I look back on it, because I keep saying, like, it's, first of all, it's very long. And for some reason, people call it Everyday Damn Fitness constantly. I think you did it like 50 fucking times.
Dyslexic people.
But, well, I think that, like, either that or they just don't care enough to know my fucking name. But anyway, what's up, man? Thank you for having me on. So, fuck, I bet you people are going to be surprised as fuck at this. Well, probably not. It depends on the climate. People are probably going to assume that I'll be talking to people that the fucking munchkin is not happy with. So.
Man, you know, I think
you guys are laughing already. I'm not even started.
What's great about this is it's not really the same old school YouTube people. We got a lot of people listening to this from like Twitter and everything. And I've seen you on Twitter. You've been a little more vocal with your views outside of fitness, which is why I understand why you took fitness out of your name.
You know, the thing about it is, man, I really think I've been talking about fitness for the last year. I think I'm one of the only fucking people. And that's one of the reasons why I think me and you were able to reconnect, is that, like, I'm really, like, taken aback by all these, you know, quote unquote fitness people that aren't talking about the thing that's affecting the most fitness of people in our fucking country for the last fucking 10 months. All these bitch ass punks in our fucking industry. And I don't even call them my peers, because they're absolutely not my peers. I'm an actual health coach. These fucking assholes are not. But, I mean, I pride myself on helping people, and these fucking people are not. Because if you're not going to talk about the thing that's affecting the most people's health in the most way, that you could help people through helping them get stress relief, fucking trying to get their fucking weight down, eating fucking correctly, you know, getting proper hydration. If you are doing everything you can to avoid the topic, or avoid saying the word COVID-19, or avoid saying lockdown, or avoid whatever, just because you're worried it might affect your popularity, you care more about your popularity than people, and you can fuck all the way off as far as I'm concerned. I'm like, our industry more than anything like that. Like, I think people thought that I was just going to, like, be kind of quiet about it. I was, you know, once the political climate calms down a little bit, I am going to fucking destroy some people. Because I see the most disingenuous shit happening in the fucking fitness industry in the last fucking 9 months. It's disgusting. People selling fucking, here's your immune boost. You don't want to fight off COVID. If the only time you've ever fucking talked about COVID was to sell a fucking product, I will be having a conversation with you, like, whether it be one-sided or not.
No,
I just find it, you know, I thought that was really cool of you too, because, like, you're in a different spot than me too. You've got a lot more money riding than I would possibly fucking have. Because for me, I'm just like, fuck it, like, I'm gonna do it. You know,
Yeah.
like I slammed the pedal down on this motherfucker about 4 years ago, and I just kept it floored, you know. But you've got a lot of shit going, and I just thought it was really fucking brave of you to fucking do that shit. I mean, me and you had issues with the Real Weights Real Heroes thing, and then, like, I mean, I found it when we got back in contact, and you fucking were totally cool about that shit, where you even said my bad. You know, I'm not. I think people misunderstand a little bit. I don't hold grudges at all. You know, I just want to make my statement. And like, I don't even dislike Greg. Greg's a little fucking clown. Clowns are for amusement. Why would I fucking not want amusement? You know?
Greg Doucette, if you guys are wondering who Greg is.
You can, depending on which version of you want to see of him, you can look at his videos from like a year ago when he talked like a fucking boring ass motherfucker who was only talking about steroids and lifting, or you can hear the Gilbert Gottfried voice right now that somebody fucking created for him. Whoever took over his channel and is doing his editing and doing his fucking thumbnails and shit like that, they do a great fucking job. He was boring as fuck before, but so they did a good job of fucking making him relevant. And they didn't do a very good job of strategy, because when you got a dumbass motherfucker who's literally been busted cheating a bunch of fucking times, talking about he's the most virtuous person ever, and then tells a bunch of people, like, I didn't snitch, go look it up.
Challenge accepted, motherfucker. Let's go.
It wasn't the snitching as well as I don't think anybody noticed. Like in the sworn affidavits or the stuff I saw paperwork, I'm not sure if they were sworn affidavits. He actually was accused, and I don't know if it was convicted of actually instructing the supplier to underdose steroids. So he was literally lying to people, not only selling illegal drugs, but selling mislabeled underdosed illegal drugs. Like there's a lot of things to unpack there.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. And here's you know how I am. Like, do whatever you want with your own body.
Yeah,
I'm a very constitutional. Like, your shit's your shit, my shit's my shit. I don't give a fuck what you do. I mean, I do think that what I do is a little different than Greg because I point out like, hey, you said this. My newer content, like my old content when I was just doing the comedy roast, that was just for fucking comedy. Well, my newer stuff, when I fucking get on somebody, I'm trying to prove a point. Like, you just gave this information. Maybe you should do it this way. Blah 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 blah. Right. And I'm just like an asshole, so it just comes across that way. So I can't avoid it, right? I think what he does is he, tries to reach into people's lives, make a fucking statement about people, then fucking pull back and be like, I'm just giving my opinion. But meanwhile, like, you're making natty or not videos about people that have never claimed to be natty. What the fuck's wrong with you? Like, I mean, like, you're making a natty or not video about Cali Muscle. I'm pretty sure that's fucking settled science. I just don't fucking understand. Like, so the little fucking, the little fucking, the little elf, then all of a sudden is pulling bitch. Like, he's like, oh, everybody, people are just putting my name in their thumbnail for views. Fuck. I challenge you, and I actually just said this I was on live with Shaw a little bit ago. Find 5 of his videos together that don't have somebody else's name in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as somebody that fucking puts people's names in my titles, trust me, like I have no problem with that either. But when people have come back at me, I have had no problem with that. Like, people can say what the fuck they want about me. I'm old, I'm bald, blah, 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 all that fucking pussy ass shit that people want to spout. But if you want to fucking try to reach into somebody's lives, especially reach into somebody's pocket, like people are like talking about another man. I think that's a little weird when people are like talking about another man, blah, 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 because most of you motherfuckers have put bikinis on and fucking gotten on stage. But, so of course people are going to talk about you guys. But to then be like, then pull bitch and be like, they're just doing it to get views or something like that. What a fucking pussy. I mean, Greg Doucette's a pussy. You can use that as a soundbite clip. And another thing too, I saw something else. And I said this on Shaw's podcast, and because this is going to be live too, I'm going to get a little closer to the camera and say this.
Yeah.
Greg Doucette has told people that I'm just clout chasing. That's one thing he fucking said. I'm going to let this know, and I'm going to do this one more time. If I can look directly into the camera and say, you, Greg Doucette, are a lying, thieving, snitching ass bitch, and then you refuse to say my name, not like, because you'll talk about a 10,000 subscriber channel, but you refuse to say my name when I fucking call you a lying, snitching ass bitch, right into the camera. I didn't chase clout, bitch. I came and took that shit. So, I mean, if you want to treat me like I'm fucking Voldemort, fine. But eventually people are going to fucking make you talk, So Greg's my new chew toy.
Well, I think he won't call you out because he knows he'll get absolutely chewed apart.
I will fucking, yeah.
Yeah.
What are you going to say about me?
I mean,
what are you going to say? You're stronger than me? Great. There are a lot of people. I mean, I don't begrudge anybody their content, but if you're going to engage with people, you better be ready to engage back. If not, I think you're just he screams fucking coward to me right now. Like, even and I made a video dogging his fucking fans yesterday.
We watched that.
That's how fucking weak. That's how weak they are. I mean, you know who they remind me of? This is no shit. He reminds me of Jason Genova and the Piss Troopers, except they were actually something.
They were kind of funny, actually. They were very good at what they did.
They were funny, but God, were they annoying as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, they were like he did a whole thing about Real Weights, Real Heroes the first time when he said something about my wife, like call her a big fat bitch. Meanwhile, my wife is like fucking.
She's not fat.
Tiny little fucking yoga.
Yeah.
Hot, tiny little yoga instructor, But he said something about that. I thought it was funny, and you were like, me and you had just really like gotten to know each other. So Marc released this video like, I'm worried Alan's going to beat up Jason. And I'm like, he can say where the fuck. First of all, I'm like, even if it was true, I'd love my wife no matter what. I don't give,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, period. Like, but secondly, like, I think that was my video where I like, you know, people were worried I would slap the fuck out of Jason Genova. It's pretty clear life already did. So, like, you know, like, why would I?
Pretty clear.
It's one of those things.
You guys gotta now just slow down a little. You gotta listen to every word, because things like that, you'll slip that in there. It's pretty true. Like, so the cool thing is, so just for people who don't know, like, your background, so you have actual background in health and actually doing this for a living.
I was a healthcare executive.
So beyond just being a trainer or a steroid
years.
dealer, you actually have this experience to help people.
There's so much dealing going on. No, but yeah, I mean, I have a degree in healthcare administration, and I worked as like a healthcare executive up and down the Eastern United States for about 15 years. So, with focus on long-term care, elderly people, I helped develop disaster policies and plans, especially on a nutritional support level for Allegheny County, Albany, New York.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like major counties. I helped work with. Helped run their facilities, their state-run facilities, and I also helped write their disaster plans and stuff like that for outbreak, nutrition, things like that. And you know, that's why I felt when all this COVID crazy shit hit, I'm like standing there, I was like, what the fuck's going? Like, why are we freaking? Like, you know, this is almost like standard operating procedure. A new virus comes out, you close the long-term cares, you try to isolate who is actually in danger. And we knew that shit from China.
Yeah.
We knew it was like 80-year-old people and fucking, and mostly immunocompromised people way back then in February, like early February. And, when I was like, we're closing out everybody, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing that for? Why, like, every day, like, here's how people need to understand it. Like, oh my, like I had somebody scream at me the other day, we lost 3,000 people today or blah, blah, blah. Like, every day the fucking economy stays closed down, you're losing way more than that. Like the death toll in years is fucking crazy. Like, so if we lose 3,000 people that all have like 3 years left to live, we've lost like 9,000 life years. That's literally how we look at stuff in the healthcare business, right? But if you lose 500 people that are going to live another fucking 60 years, you've now lost 300,000. Like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a big fucking difference. And I don't think people get that, like, how dangerous the fucking, besides locking up human beings, we're social creatures. Civil unrest was going to happen. I even have a video from March where I say at some point in time, we're going to have civil unrest for some reason. Yeah. Like, being locked down like this is going to fucking cause it. It's like so logical progression that it was driving me crazy. And no matter how much hate I received some fucking threats before, but it was like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, these people were like, people were pissed. Like, cause I was like, everybody calm down. It's nothing, we can't be that afraid. And they got really mad, really. And then I was doing healthcare for a while, and I'm a lifter from way back, like my entire life. And I was a coach and everything like that before I went into healthcare. And I hated being around death all the time. I know that sounds a little weird, but like when you work in healthcare and you're mainly with elderly people, especially, you're around death all the time. Like, people you talk to one week won't be there the next week, and it just got really, really, really old. That, and I want to work for myself. Obviously, you want to work for yourself because you want to do whatever you want, and then you realize when you work for yourself, you can't do anything.
No, it's horrible. It's
you're busy all the time.
We just got another lawsuit today for something we didn't even do. It's business ownership once you get to a certain level, and it's nothing I said. It has nothing to do with me personally, but just frivolous lawsuits, and that's what business is all about. But you know how that is. But just going back to COVID, and I talked about this, and in March I was like looking at this like, I'm not a doctor. And that's the first thing, is that people are like, you're not a doctor, stay in your lane. I'm like, dude, health and fitness is my fucking lane. I know more about staying healthy and preventing sickness than your doctor does. Sorry, I do. Because I'm not looking at prescriptions. I'm looking at what lifestyle changes you can do to make sure that you stay well. So when people tell me, well, what's your background? I don't know. I've been doing this shit for longer than you've been alive, asshole. And also, oh, by the way, COVID doesn't really affect people like me because we take care of ourselves. So I'm sitting here, and I did a video on vitamin D in March, which everybody's like, nobody really went off on that, because I always acknowledge COVID is real. I'm not one of it's just the flu bros. COVID is real. But so is the flu, so is hand, foot, and mouth, so are a lot of other viruses. The fact that we lock down, we continue to go down this path. My favorite comment in the last couple months is, if masks worked, why aren't they working? Like, everybody's fucking in masks. We're in a pretty mask-free state. It's 99% compliance. This week I did see a shift. I see less people. I think we're at that point where people are just like, okay, enough is a fucking enough. I want to breathe fresh air. And another thing is, you talked about civil unrest. We have an issue with the election where 20 states are suing for the other guy to win. Last time we had that kind of state to state disagreement, we had the Civil War. So historically, and Tim Pool, actually, I don't know if you listen to TimCast. He did a great,
I listen to Tim Pool.
He's a great guy. And I listened to his thing yesterday about, like, he's like, dude, we're approaching some civil war. And I'm at the point now where it's like, this is not about a fucking virus. There's not one guy, except maybe Fauci, who I think might actually be that fucking stupid, who thinks that what they're doing is a good fucking idea. There's not one. You can't tell me that locking down society for a virus that affects people 70 up pretty much exclusively. You're telling me that we're shutting down schools, we're shutting down fucking economies, we're shutting down restaurants, ruining lives. 7 million plus people died due to the depression caused by the Great Depression in the 30s. Now you're telling me that we're going to do that all over again. And okay, let's say they're right. Well, I don't believe 300,000 people have died from COVID. Let's say it is 300,000. They do realize there's 350 fucking million people, 350 million people. That is not even a fraction of a percentage of the total population.
Okay, well, let's look at that number though. Okay. Because 300,000 people is like, that absolutely makes people pause.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's how you tell if something's actually deadly epidemic or pandemic. Are people dying that wouldn't normally be dying?
Yes.
Okay. Not really. Not really. The average death age of the 300,000 people that have died with or of COVID is right around 80. The statistical room for error for how we calculate estimated life expectancy, they're in that realm, right? And they all have massive underlying conditions. Like, I said it on a video not too long ago, the other day, like, a bad hiccup could kill one of these people. And that's true. I mean, and people get so upset, but I think one, it's like my person, like, I'm so personality deficient. It's fucking horrible. But
self-aware though.
Dude, like, I put it on my Twitter and my Instagram. Like, I get accused all the time of people saying I play a character on YouTube and stuff like that. And you've met me in real life. This, unfortunately, like, this is fucking me sometimes. Like, I mean, it just is like, I don't know how, like, me and my wife spend all day together. I don't know how the fuck she does that. Like, she's my best friend. We spend all day together. That was like the whole point of the business. I don't even know how the fuck she does. Because sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I'm so fucking much right now. Like, I will feel it. Yep. I really will. But people tend to fucking, like, they lose track of the fact that I'm a little jaded. Uh-oh.
Oh, hold on.
What the fuck? Hang on a second.
We've removed.
What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing?
Hold on.
Did you kick me out or something like that?
I think we're good.
We're still on. No, we're gonna run out of time because if it was more than 2 people, but what is going on? There are only 2 people on.
Not sure.
I don't know.
If it stops, we'll just call back in.
Yeah. Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah. But people like, I've been around that type of death for 15 years. Like, I mean, these are the people that die every year.
Yeah.
These absolutely are. I think a few more of them died because a lot of people did not have immunity or inherent immunity to a new virus strain. This is a bad cold. It drives people crazy when I say that, but it is a coronavirus. That is a cold virus.
Yeah.
And this is a bad one. So it's a bad cold. It drives people crazy when I say that. But I'm so used to being around it. They're like, okay, it's unfortunate, but this is fucking reality. These are the people that do the dying. I personally, like, I made a video a while back on the channel that's now deleted. I made a video a while back that, if the next virus, like, targets 45 to 55-year-old bald men like me, Vin Diesel, The Rock, we're good. We'll bite one for the fucking team. Don't ruin society for us. I've had a good fucking haul. Let's keep society open so the kids can fucking have a future, because that's what we're exchanging right now.
Yeah.
I really believe that we are exchanging the future of our children for temporary feeling of safety, because it's really unfortunate. And I know people don't want to believe the tattooed up bald muscle head that screams and swears a lot, but masks will not stop a virus.
Nope.
It is so insane to me that we think this is working. If you look at all the statistics, we're going to look back on this 5 years from now and people are going to realize masks were a problem. Like masks cause more illness.
Well, you'd think that, but then they have the same data from the Spanish flu where masks tend to kill more people.
And Fauci
during
wrote
that.
a paper.
And we're still doing this
Fauci
again.
wrote a paper about that. It's insane.
It's
he wrote
insane.
a paper about that. It's insane. Like for what he's talking about, for people that don't know, I believe the paper he wrote, something like 90% of all people that died during the first wave of the Spanish flu died from bacterial pneumonia, not actually died from the Spanish flu. And they died from bacterial pneumonia because a lot of them were wearing masks, and bacteria builds up on the inside of your mask. Like there's so many, like as a healthcare person, there's so many procedures that aren't being followed. Like here's how you know, and this is going to upset some people, but here's how you know COVID's bullshit, and they know it's bullshit. Like your people are lying to you. Like it was very weird for me because last time we talked, like I voted for Obama and shit like that, everything. Like I'm a very independent voter, you know, and I didn't vote for Trump the first time because I did not want to vote for somebody that I thought was going to start a fucking war with their Twitter. Like, I mean, just to be real. I was very concerned about that. And I am not a big believer in having very, very rich people be in government, because that, to me, that's not by the people for the people. They're not really like my life and your life, even your life, Mark, is like Bill Gates' life compared to your life. Like he is so very different. Like, you know, when you have when you have billions of wealth, it's not relatable. Like your life is not relatable, right? So I did not vote for him. However, I shut my fucking hole. And I accepted he was the president of the United States because he's the fucking president of the United States because he got fucking duly elected. And I turned off fucking politics for about 2 years because I'm not a fan, and fucking it's going to be what it's going to be, right? And all of a sudden, like shit's like my wife and I built 4 businesses in the Trump era. Okay, he gets my vote. You know what I mean? Like the fucking world's fucking cranking. Like world's cranking, and all these wars are ending and shit like that. Fucking. He's got my fucking vote, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, COVID hits, and I'm like, I still didn't, like, I hated when Trump was like, this is fake news, and I would catch the media having bias, but then they just started openly fucking lying about this virus.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you need a mask will do this. Like, real deal, if you cough into a mask and it aerosolizes whatever you fucking just coughed out, okay? Aerosolized vapor can travel 30 fucking meters. With live virus in it. Real deal. Okay. That's one problem with masks. The other problem with masks is that you can't wear them in any warm or humid state and be healthy at all under any circumstances. The second you step outside in Florida in 95 degree, 100% humidity heat, and you put a fucking mask on, that thing gets saturated. It is not collecting bacteria and it's culturing. True. Then when you go to how people wear them, like the second Dr. Anthony Fauci walked on the fucking camera and went like this with his mask, he pulled it up and put it on his neck and then pulled it back up and put it back on when he walked away, I knew it was bullshit. Okay. Because germs do fucking live on your neck too.
Yeah.
So like the second they put it on their neck and they put it back up, there's like mask procedure. I used to teach a class when I was in healthcare. Like you're supposed to sanitize your hands before you touch your mask. Take the mask off. Sanitize your hands again. If you're going to put another mask on, you put on a fresh mask, sanitize hands, put it on, trying not to touch your face. The idea is not to touch your face. Don't touch your fucking face when there's viruses going around. So now we have the entire world population trying to touch their face every 15 fucking seconds. It's stupid. Like it goes beyond science. It really does. Like because it hasn't been about science the entire time. It's obviously very clearly about political control. And other people have told me like, well, you look at other countries are doing this too. Yeah, look at what those other countries are doing right now. Germany is like fucking scary right now.
Yes.
Like shit in Europe. Like I have tons of clients in Great Britain. Like, for some reason, tons of clients from Great Britain. They're prisoners. Like prisoners. And they don't got guns and shit like that. Like they just got to fucking suck this shit the fuck up.
Even in as close as Canada.
Yeah, Canada's a mess. I mean,
I told my one client, I was like, the last time you fuckers tried, people tried to do that to us, it was you, and we fucked you guys up.
Yeah, we really. You're absolutely correct. I don't. The mask thing is just beside me because my kids play. So for some reason, in the tournament they're playing indoor now because it's winter. We go indoors, so they could play on the field without masks. But when they're on the sideline, they have to put masks on. Then after the game, these kids are playing together. So why on the field does the virus know not to get them? Is anybody like, and the mayor is, Rogers Anderson is the mayor of Williamson County. He's a fat idiot. Like, I'm going to fucking do my best to get this fucker voted out. Like, what a fucking piece of shit. Fucking extending
Williamson County or Nashville?
Williamson County.
Oh, okay.
You got fucking that Cooper motherfucker in Nashville. Okay. And I'm just looking at it like, has anybody from any health department looked in and said, this is fucking retarded? Like, anybody, like, can you imagine looking, like, coming back, like, from a fucking coma? And you're like, wait, so you wear the mask on the sideline, but not on the field where you're actually exerting and breathing heavy. And and they're sweaty. They're taking the mask off, putting them on, and the masks are going on the fucking floor in between.
They're going on the floor, sitting on a counter or something like that.
Is anybody like how? And I don't understand. They must be bought and paid for how these medical professionals are like, yeah, wear your fucking mask. I'm like, well, fuck yourself. If masks work so much, why is it only working when I'm wearing it and talking out, not when you're wearing it and it's protecting you from me? Like, why do I have to wear a fucking mask to protect you? What the fuck kind of common sense is that? That makes no sense in any fucking world.
My thing is, if I'm that dangerous, you should stay the fuck away from me.
Yes.
I'm going to go where I'm going to go. You have no right to tell me what, like, we've gotten to the stage, and this is the dangerous portion. We've gotten to the stage where we're acting like, well, why can't I have those rights? They're rights, motherfuckers. Just go take them. You know, this has been a very interesting year because I was like the channels and everything like that. We were doing really fucking hot, like really, really well, fucking 1,000 subscribers a day, fucking gaining everything like that. And then COVID hit, and and this is no shit, on my YouTube, in the fucking comment thing, YouTube has deleted it. On the Every Damn Day Fitness channel, I put like, hey, I was on a cruise. So I'm smashed ass drunk getting back on the boat from Cozumel, Mexico. There was fucking woman pouring fucking tequila shots down my wife's throat right from the fucking bottle. And I get back on the fucking ship, check my fucking phone, and like people are walking down and shit like that. And we're going to notice we might not be allowed to like enter the United States again. God. We're in Cozumel, Mexico. And, I write on my fucking on the community tab, like, I keep getting these messages that there's going to be lockdowns. Last I checked, the government's not my mom, and I'm not 14, so you can fuck off on a curfew. I'm going to stay out till however fucking late I want to. I'm a big boy, But also, I kind of told people at no point in time, and I guess it's because I'm a health coach, people were expecting me to take like, oh my God, be healthy, be good. Because I was like, at no point in time should you give up any of your rights, ever. And people got pissed. I love your fitness shit, but you're so off on this. Like, if my logical progression on data and on data information is good for you on fitness, how is my logical progression on this data information in a field that I have experience in? How is this not convincing you? It's because they just scared the fuck out of everybody so bad. Like,
none of this is based on logic.
They scared the fuck out of people. Like, I just didn't get it. Like, so many people, like death threats, shit like that, like way more than I fucking got. Like, fucking, and I mean, the way I do it is like I get a death threat on Instagram, so I fucking try to fucking video call them. Like, I immediately like, oh really? Let's talk. They never pick up.
Well, when we did the Doucette video, I got my first hate DM ever.
Yeah, he's made it.
And the guy was like, I'll fight you, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I'm not Marc. I'm not diplomatic. I will wreck you. The guy immediately apologized. Like,
I think we're at a dangerous crossroads where people are being led by fear. And the government has found a way to control us through fear. And you see it in people who normally are very, very pragmatic, sane people. Like the most sane people are like, well, we're just giving up our rights, but it's for the greater good. If I hear the greater good one more fucking time, I'm going to fucking slap somebody in the face. There's no greater good. And also the whole essential business thing just really upsets me. How is the government going to determine what's essential and what's not? And I'm someone, look, I grew like crazy during the lockdowns because I have businesses in internet and grocery. That is who crushed it during this. I mean, so I should be like rooting for another lockdown. Like, I'm not lying. If we had another lockdown, it would speed us up about 10 years to be in a huge power position. I don't want it because I'm not a piece of shit. And I don't understand how anybody can say, oh, economy is more important than life. Well, economy is life, you dumb motherfucker. I mean, how do you...
Every day the economy stows, people die.
How do you look at a business owner, a restaurant owner? How do you look at a bar owner? How do you look at anybody who's hurting from this and say, well, sucks it's you and not me? And I guarantee you none of these fucking liberal elitist motherfuckers have missed a paycheck. They are in the Zoom meetings. They are working from home, and they are elitist because they've never had to work a job behind the counter. They've never had to work retail. They've never had to do this. They are spoon-fed, rich, elitist motherfuckers, or they're people who've always been on the government dole. And that's what's upsetting, is the lack of empathy for people who are losing their life's work.
Well, the fucking crazy shit is people, our government's acting like truly like they're lords. Like they're like tossing shekels at us, man. Like, I mean, like the fucking, and I didn't take I didn't even take any of the fucking stimulus, but, because I didn't need it, but they're like fucking just tossing money out. Like, okay, we need to get that extra money for this. Like, if they weren't like for a while, they're giving everybody $600 extra a week in unemployment. $600 extra a fucking week. I'm sorry, that's detached. You are now telling these people to sit home and elevating their fucking life. Most of these people did not make that extra $600 a fucking week. You're adding $30,000 onto their fucking bottom line.
Yeah,
that is a whole other like class of living for staying home now.
That's more than average unemployment. The 600 is just on its own. Yeah.
It's absolutely insane how people they literally sold their souls for $1,200. You look at what's happening now. They're asking restaurants to shut down. Like Chef Andrew Gruel is a great guy. He's been on all the time. He's actually made it pretty viral with him fighting back. And what's really crazy is they're like, hey, you're shutting down and we're not giving you shit to do it. And we've had that issue. And what's funny, here's another thing about the shutdowns. Like, we're in Williamson County, even though our mayor's a piece of shit, we're not locked down. We're pretty open here, right? So we are open, and we had a little COVID spike because everybody's getting fucking tested, right? And now we're going down. Yeah. Our COVID rates and recovery rates are actually better than Nashville. And Nashville is, Davidson County. Davidson County is locked down, limits on gatherings, all this crazy shit. And we have nothing. So it's just amazing how we have all this data, literally towns that are separated by trees. And we have all this data, and yet they still think that masks and lockdowns are the right answer. And not even getting into the vaccine. We were on that on Twitter today. Holy fuck.
Yeah. Not a chance in fucking hell. I mean, here's the thing. Okay, so for the testing thing, we shouldn't be testing to find out cases.
No,
it's stupid. It's completely and utterly, totally fucking irrelevant. And people are like, oh, you got to track it. Like the one thing I would say about COVID-19, I've seen all sorts of I've been called a conspiracy theorist talking about numbers so many times it drives me crazy. I'm baffled that all of a sudden I'm a conspiracy theorist. But if you have a 20% false negative rate or false positive rate, a 20% false positive rate, and you test the entire population, just in the false positives alone, you are never going to meet the standards for opening that some of these governors have put. California is in forever lockdown unless they oust the fucking DC comic villain that has now is their governor.
I don't know,
because he reminds me way more of like Two-Face than he does fucking a governor.
These guys need to go. Like, these people are fucking evil. Fauci and Newsom and this fucking Cuomo. Evil. God, I hate Matt just because he's Italian now. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, I'm looking at this and people are like, they're winning awards. Like, they're patting themselves on the back. They're fucking heroes.
What the fuck is up with fucking, Andrew Cuomo winning a fucking
fuck that guy
achievement award? He's a mass murderer. Like, I mean, he is a mass murderer.
Literally.
He is. He killed thousands of people.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. to put COVID, and I put this on my Twitter in like fucking April, to mandate that long-term care facilities, nursing homes, need to take a COVID positive patient, a patient that has a highly deadly pathogen to the population, to the census of the building. Before 2020, the nursing home administrator could go to jail for that.
Yeah.
For real. Like, if I was a nursing home administrator, which I used to have one of those licenses, if I was a nursing home administrator and your mom came into my facility and then I admitted knowingly somebody that had a virus that could be deadly to her and she died, I'd go to jail. You could sue the fucking place. Not right now. He literally put it in there that they can't even be sued for it. Like, he put it in the fucking, that's some crazy shit. It really is. So they can kill your mama, but you can't sue them for it.
But he's not the only one. Whitmer did it. Murphy did it. Why are they? Here's my question though. Why is it all Democrats? Look, I'm an independent. I had to register Republican to vote in the primary here, but I have never been a Republican in my life till I moved to Tennessee. Actually, I believe I was for a year in college and then I went libertarian. We're not going to talk about those years. But the thing is, why is it all Democrats who are killing old people? Do you know why?
You know, it has to be it's obviously a political thing.
Why would they kill people? Who could kill people?
I don't know if they actually thought it would. I don't know. Or they cared. At that point in time, like, it's just such a dumb contra to logic to sit, like, these people are very fragile, and then this person has a virus that's going to kill them, and I don't understand. It had to be some sort of like move. The immense lies about it, like the president told me to. Then why didn't all 50 states do it? You fuck. Like, why lie? Like, I don't get it. Like, but he should be in jail. Like, Cuomo, several of them. So many. There's at this stage so many people. Fauci should be in jail.
Yes.
Anthony Fauci sat on TV, said masks are ridiculous. You know what? The fucked up thing is he was telling the truth with that.
He was.
Like, the masks are ridiculous. It might stop a droplet. He was absolutely telling the truth. The Surgeon General of the fucking United States said the same goddamn thing right before him. Masks are ridiculous. Fucking save them for people. And then he openly comes out and says, I lied, and gives a reason of, we were worried that healthcare professionals wouldn't have masks if we told you the truth. First of all, you don't get the option to lie to the fucking American people. You should have said, we're worried that you guys are going to buy up the masks. Please don't. They really do help you. So wear this fucking Led Zeppelin t-shirt on your fucking face. But instead, they just said, no, we lied to you because we didn't trust you. Like, that's the whole thing. This is about government not trusting us when that's not their fucking job. Their job is to prove their trust to us. Like, prove we should trust them. Them saying we don't, since people can't listen, we got to close down. I've heard that so many times. It's so contra to what should actually happen. It's amazing. We elect people to defend our constitutional rights. That is their number one fucking job.
Yeah.
They're supposed to do for us what we can't do for our fucking selves. To tell us what to do as if they're actually our boss. We have lost sight of the fucking ball. We really have. We've made it so we are now defending our rights like they're privileges we want back. And that's why you never set the precedent of anybody telling you have to stay in. Like, once they know they can, they can. Like, we're going to lock down again. Based on what? Like, nobody can tell me that. It's their feelings. I mean, these people are literally making law off their feelings. That's not fucking America. Like, I say it all the time. Like, I don't live in the same country as people in New York do. My mom's still in Pittsburgh. I don't live in the same country as her.
That's why I told you we're encroaching a civil war. And the election, I don't want to make this about all that shit. Like, we're more health and fitness. I don't see, our lane is COVID is our lane. COVID's as much our lane as is a fucking squat. I'm sorry. I will fight. I will die on that hill, and not from COVID, although they'll lift it as a COVID death. I will die on that hill because health and fitness has been my life. That's what I do. So I'm not going to go to the election, but it is my belief the election is fraudulent, 100%. But I do not think this country is mostly the mask wearing Democrat voters. I think the country is overwhelmingly conservatives who want freedom, but we also don't want to be yelled at for walking in a grocery store without a mask. We don't want to be yelled at by a Karen or put on Twitter and spit on and have shit thrown at us for not wearing a mask. I think for the most part, most of us are good people who want this all to go away, who are going by it, but we also realize how fucking stupid it is. And that's why I said earlier, I think we're in a situation where a majority of the country, if you look at the map, dude, the country's red as fuck. The country is conservative as fuck. You have little pockets of idiocy, like California, not even all of California. If you look at California, Illinois,
just dude, the most populated
it's
areas.
All red with one circle of elite blue people, in the middle. Mm-hmm. So you have a country that is dominated by red, but it's being ruled right now by tyrannical blue leaders. And now you have the red states, the Tennessees, the Texas, the Florida, coming out saying, nah, dude, this election's fucking wrong. We're not rolling with this. What happens?
Well, the thing about
what happens? The Supreme Court says we're not going to hear this. I think people are going to be really fucking mad.
Well, the Supreme Court will hear it. Like when a state goes to another state, it's almost. I mean, they will hear it.
Okay.
I think they'll hear it no matter what, because like we are reaching a very serious divide. We're reaching a stage where a lot of people, I think, that are very pro lockdown, pro right suppression is the only fucking thing I can call it.
Right suppression.
I don't think that I don't think that they understand what they're actually asking for. I mean, I just can't picture some of the shit that happened in some of the riots like happening in Florida.
No,
like, you know what I mean? Like people walking up to diners as they dine and just fucking like walking up and drinking an old man's beer. Yeah, I wish a motherfucker would.
Oh, I would.
You know what I mean?
I would get my ass kicked for that. I would go hard. Someone's getting hurt.
Well, real deal. In Florida, you can shoot them, right?
Yes. Same with Tennessee. We're very similar. Our states are very similar.
Well, yeah. Our governor put new shit in place where it's like, if somebody's standing in the middle of the road, in the middle of the highway, trying to get you to stop, if you're afraid, you don't need to touch the brake.
Yep.
But you're in the middle of a highway, play stupid game, win stupid prize. What the fuck?
Yeah, we did. I think Bill Lee, it was a big deal. He put the same thing. Where you can, our governor's name is Governor Bill Lee, and he, same thing, because there was a big uproar like, oh, well, now you can vehicular manslaughter is legal. I'm like, no. If you're threatening me and I'm in my car, I'm not stopping. I'm going to fucking bowl your ass right over. Sorry. I mean, I have a really large car and it wouldn't even leave a dent.
Right. I think we've gotten to the stage now where the whole, voter fraud thing. Here's two things. First of all, voter fraud and procedural things that are going to SCOTUS are two different things. And people don't realize that, right? Mm-hmm. What's going to SCOTUS is that these 4 states went against the Constitution in changing their election rules. So therefore, they disenfranchise all the other states because the federal election policy needs to be the same throughout each state in order for it to be a fair election, in order for my vote to count, in order for our votes to count the same way as a vote for somebody in Pennsylvania, they need to follow the same procedure.
Yes. And
these 4 states changed those procedures. That's why they're getting pulled by the other states in front of the Supreme Court. And to many of the fucking lemmings' dismay, I feel pretty. It's a toss up whether they just say, you know what, okay, it goes to the electors. You guys were against the Constitution, and then all of a sudden, Trump is named for 4 more years. The problem with that is we've got fucking Joe Biden literally, by the way, breaking the law, acting like he is the he is the president. He's in the office of the president-elect.
That doesn't exist, and he wasn't elected yet.
It is illegal to lie about being part of a government organization, or especially making up one. Like, there's no office of the president-elect.
It doesn't exist.
To put him in, it doesn't exist. It just creates an image of one. It is illegal. That was illegal. Like, it drives me crazy. I was like, that's not even a real fucking thing. It's not a real fucking thing. You shouldn't be really fucking doing it.
He has a fucking seal and everything. Like, he has a fucking backdrop.
Is it just like a piece of notebook paper with crayon written on it?
No, it's a fucking backdrop. It's like the shit we ordered for the Olympia, man. Like, he probably had our guy print out some backdrops and banners and tablecloths.
Damn it, Ryan.
Yeah. And so the mainstream media and social media is training people. They're conditioning people to think that if Trump actually stays in office, he somehow stole something because they already think that Biden's elected. It's fucking it's lemming food is what I call it.
Not just that. Regardless, say Biden does actually win. Trump's still president until January 20th. Biden can't do shit.
Trump's over there fucking brokering deals in the Middle East with Israel. Like, who'd have thought? Like, I am not. Same thing with you. I was so afraid of Trump and North Korea. If you don't know, and I mean, we never
that's what had me freaked out too.
Yeah, we never really got into this, but I am 100% non-aggression. I don't fuck with the war. I'm not. That's a little Dicky reference. I'm sorry about that. I don't fuck with the war. I'm pro-life. And I'm anti-death penalty. Now, I understand the death penalty thing's a sticking point with a lot of people, but that's not the point. The point is that, what Trump has done with no new wars and taking our troops out of other countries, I think Trump is by far, at least in my lifetime, I can't speak for Woodrow Wilson or Calvin Coolidge or fucking Thomas Jefferson, right? Like, Trump is by far the most effective foreign policy president of my lifetime. Period. The end.
Oh, yeah.
More effective than Reagan and the Cold War.
It's not arguable. That was my thing. Like, it's not arguable. We are in less war and there's more peace. Literally the president's job.
Well, I mean, he led by force. I mean, he basically got peace by force. He's like, he beefed up the military. And look, Obama was just getting punked by everybody, dude. Like, he was getting punked by Russia. He was getting punked by North Korea. Trump came in and literally, I think the tweet that changed it all is he's like, yeah, he keeps talking about this red button. Well, I got one too, and it's much bigger than his. He was just like, I'm going to fuck this dude up. And Kim Jong-un's like, this motherfucker is fucking crazy enough to bomb the shit out of us. And that is how we led during Reagan's. That's how we ended the Cold War. And now it's where we're at now. And I'm afraid now Biden, people don't realize, I tweeted this yesterday, Biden is a pro-war and he is a pro-Wall Street president. He has nothing to do. Guys, Occupy Wall Street wasn't Trump. It wasn't Bush. It wasn't Reagan. Occupy Wall Street was Obama. Obama and Biden. What is it? Only 1/5. So over 80% of the donations from Wall Street went to Biden. And that's not because they want to help the poor people. That's not because they want to prop up the middle class. That's because this is the machine. This is the government machine where they're trying to eradicate the low and the middle class. They're trying to make us all subservient to one ruling class, period.
Well, and I'm sorry, but like, when people are talking about, like the ridiculous, like some of the ridiculous policies that they're talking about, like don't get me wrong, I was in healthcare, and I think I even had a conversation with you. Healthcare is one of the very few things where I think profit should be minimized as much as possible.
Agreed.
Like you have to be able to make a profit, but come on now, like you shouldn't be bankrolling. The insurance industry is the real industry that needs radical reform because they can just deny you. Like that was my problem with the COVID-19 death certificates too. Like when you assume a death certificate, it leaves a legal window open for a life insurance policy for a life insurance company to contest it. You know, like they can hold people's life insurance payouts up a long fucking time.
Wow.
In a time when people need it. Because if say you have a life insurance policy that covers accidental slip and falls or something like that for an X amount of money, and you die of COVID, right? Well, they'll probably still pay you out if you died of COVID with the fall, but
the latter guy.
They are going to try their very best to argue it. That what they will try to do is they will try to bankrupt the person who's waiting for the money. Like they will tie them in litigation until they can't fucking do it. It happens all the fucking time. without assumed things on a death certificate. It's insane.
I never even thought of that, like these misdiagnoses of COVID.
Yeah.
What that does for life insurance. I have that is probably the biggest thing we've talked about today.
Yeah.
Because I've never heard it, and I'm deep in the middle of this. You know, doing the GainzCast, we learn about shit we normally wouldn't learn about.
Yeah.
That one is absolutely fucking enormous. Fucking gigantic. What? Wow.
There should be no monetary. There should be no monetary incentive for any type of diagnosis more than another one. Like there shouldn't be. But right now there is. There's like a $40,000 diagnosis incentive for any hospital that comes up with a COVID-19. $40,000 per fucking case.
Insane.
40,000. Okay, that's crazy. And I don't like. We made all these extra rules for a bad cold. It is a bad cold.
Yes.
Like and we made so many extra rules, and we fucked up society so much. 10 years from now, people are going to be laughing at us. Like they're literally going to be laughing. This, you know how we look back on how people dressed in the 80s? Yeah, this is going to be much worse than that. They're going to laugh at people a lot harder than that.
My hammer pants were fucking dope, though.
My fucking parachute pants were the fucking shit.
Dude, if you do the Running Man in those, it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
such a good look.
It makes the noise. It makes the noise.
You don't even need music. So what? So you're still actively training and doing fitness stuff, right? Like you still go to the gym. Are you still powerlifting? I remember you were powerlifting a little bit.
No. I in the last 2 years, I don't really coach people for lifting or anything like that. I'm a lifestyle coach.
Yeah,
I help
absolutely.
people get from morbidly obese weights down to healthy weights through lifestyle skills and stuff like that. Because we found, I even have a book called "Fuck Being Fat." Solve your weight problems once and for all with math and willpower. Volume 2 is "Fuck Being Fat Beyond Math and Willpower."
You wrote these?
My wife and I are writing it right now.
Oh, so
I'm writing the second one now. I wrote the first one.
Is the first one for sale? Can we, where can they find it?
It's on Amazon.
Okay, send me over the link for Amazon and we will post it down below. And I've never read, you know what? I apologize. I haven't been following you enough. I would love to read that book. I will buy one today. Don't send it to me.
I wrote it how I talk.
Yeah, and I don't think you could write any other way, to be honest with you.
I wrote it how I talk.
But I will buy a copy today, and that's so everybody buy Alan's book. That's awesome.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And the second one will be out hopefully in a couple months. But the garage, I have a garage in the gym. It's the damn gym. I call everything the damn thing. But I have a garage in the gym, and then I train a couple hours a day. I train a high intensity level, still pretty high intensity. I just train differently. I don't train for strength. I couldn't tell you what my maxes are. I couldn't even tell you how much I weigh. I haven't gotten on the scale in forever.
God bless you.
But when COVID hit, I say this all the time. I'm taking COVID way more seriously than most people. Like, I am actually taking it more seriously than most people. I actually physically changed. I probably lost 20 some pounds, including muscle mass. I was like, I'm fucking downsized. Fuck this shit. I'm almost 50-year-old man floating around 210 pounds I'm a lifestyle coach, so it's not like I even need to look have the superhero look,
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it was just I feel so much better losing a little bit more weight. So I took it seriously. I cleaned up my nutrition, even more than what it was, and I don't drink anymore at all. I smoke weed, but I don't drink. And to me, I was talking about this before. It drives me crazy how other health professionals haven't taken it serious. Like, you've downsized a little bit too. People.
I've gone just like you, Alan. I used to be a fitness health Nazi as far as supplementation. I stepped up my prophylactic use. Not you say prophylactic, people think condoms. I don't use condoms, but I do take vitamin C. I do. Those are things I really looked into. I've been taking them for years, but I never traveled with them. I've been very into that. I've been, looking into different things like being in the sunlight more. Like, COVID made me realize I could be healthier and I could be better, even though I was 90% there. And what I'm trying to do, and I'm sorry to cut you up, but what I am trying to do,
the thing is, you were just so big and so peeled all the time, too.
Yeah.
that takes such razor focus no matter what.
Yeah.
You know?
And you know what? I still stay in a level of conditioning, but I'm a lot more relaxed, and I'm throwing in a lot more cardio, and I do so much fucking cardio. But the thing is, I think selling things is great. And it's how I pay my bills, but I wish people would take me more seriously and not just paint me as that Jew trying to sell shit. Because honestly, I'm putting out these messages. I'm like, I don't care if you get it from me. I'm not charging for sunlight. I'm not charging for to go on outdoor walks. I'm not charging you to exercise. I did these band videos. I even took weeks off of weight training to do it alongside people. I didn't even sell bands at the time I made them because bands are fucking expensive. Like, we're selling them for under $50. It was the cheapest one on Amazon was $150. So I went and I got them made for like a third of the cost. We're making like literally very little on them. It's not like a huge, but I want to make sure people could have them during these lockdowns. Yeah. And I'm literally out there like, and it's like, well, you're just trying to sell something. I'm like, how am I fucking trying to sell sunlight? I'm literally sitting here watching people get sick when they shouldn't be getting that sick. They shouldn't be dying. Then you have this great doctor, Dr. Zelenov, the Jewish guy, straight up got the beard and the fucking yarmulke and everything. And this guy, and I'm like, this guy is saying the same shit I have been saying, except he's an
HCQ guy, right?
He's HCQ, but he also has a non-HCQ protocol, which is the same thing I recommended in March. I had no idea who this guy was. So basically it's quercetin, which is ionophore, which helps zinc enter the cell. Yeah. Quercetin, zinc, vitamin C, vitamin D. He throws in some melatonin, and I believe he also throws in a anti-phlegm, like a Nexium, or I believe like a Flonase type thing. So he's one of the, not Flonase, but I forgot the name, but
Mucinex.
Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, Mucinex is one of them, but yeah, it's Prilosec. It's the heartburn.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, and it's the chemical, he uses the big word for it, but it's Prilosec. So when I saw him, I'm like, well, shit, we got to get this message out, because for me, it was just common sense. You want zinc to be able to enter the cell. You want vitamin C, but people like this, because you sell them. I didn't carry a fucking quercetin till like fucking November. Like, I was just recommending people get it from their local Target or fucking vitamin shop. I don't even make one. I recommend another brand. I recommend a Now Foods product. But I'm watching people get sick and die when we can prevent it. We know viruses, like how many times, like, the reason people are not getting symptoms is because their virus isn't replicating. This is my hypothesis. Viral replication is key. We know that these things like vitamin C, zinc, quercetin, which actually helps with the zinc, all these things do is they prevent viral replications. The virus will get in your body. You're going to be exposed to COVID. You got to keep them from replicating. And if we have cheap, under $20 a month prophylactics or vitamins that'll help people from having viral replication, it doesn't mean you're not going to get sick. It doesn't mean you're not going to be bedridden for a couple of days. It means that it improves your chances of surviving, of not getting too sick to work or play or do whatever, not having long-term effects. Well, COVID has long-term effects. You know what? A lot of viruses have long-term effects. If your lung goes through trauma, it's gonna fucking have scar tissue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the flu has almost the exact same. Like, when you hear about these, the long haulers from COVID, like, that's what the big thing I get. Like, you can come up with the numbers all you want, but I'm more worried about the lasting effects. Like, the flu fucking does all that shit too. Like, for a while, they were trying to fucking freak people out that there was a new virus that was the heart vessels, around the heart vessels for children, right? You remember that?
Yeah.
They were trying to convince people that babies were going to die of COVID, right? And it was from Hiroshima's. It's called Hiroshima's or something like that.
Yep.
Or, something like it's Hiroshima's disease, right? And it's like 3,000 cases. It's not that rare. 3,000 cases a year in the United States happen, and the flu causes it often in babies. Like, it causes inflammation because it's all about inflammation. Like, almost all negative body things, arthritis, even high blood pressure. It's all about inflammation, right? But the basic shit people could do to be healthier, like even the shit you're talking about, if they just ate right, they wouldn't even have to worry that much about it. It's so fucking bad. Now, you were talking about that mix, dude. You should try. Put like 1,000 milligrams of tryptophan at the evening and the morning, and it helps. It'll help. Like, because what I do is I help people, like, control their hunger. Like, I don't even. It's like lifestyle choices to make sure you're not putting yourself in a bad position where you don't have enough planned, where you have access to healthier food. You don't want to make bad food choices. Most people, the average person, Like they just want to get through life. They don't care about like how we care, the three of us care about fitness, right? They just want to get through life and be fairly healthy.
Yeah.
So they just need to get good sleep, good hydration, eat moderately within reason, treat treats like they're treats and treat food like they're food. And people get pissed when I say that, but like a candy bar is a fucking treat. You know, like if you can have a treat every day, good for you. But when you decide that cheesecake is a daily fucking consumption thing, you are treating treats like food, not like treats, you know? And, but we help people control their hunger and their cravings, and tryptophan is amazing. Like there's a few ingredients that are really clinically shown to really help curb, addiction, like food addiction, even there are other, I stick to food addiction because I don't want to get too far into like alcohol addiction.
Yeah.
But they really help curb the cravings for some addictions. And when a person has food addiction or is morbidly obese, when a person's 350 pounds, their endocrine system is working against them to keep themselves heavy. You know what I mean? Like, because they normally become leptin resistant. So no matter how much food they eat, they normally eat a high sugar diet. So their insulin spikes. But as they eat a lot of food, their fat cells try to send leptin to the brain. Well, if you're morbidly obese, oftentimes you're leptin resistant because you have so much of it and so much insulin, right? Mm-hmm. So the idea is just to control enough of that, to control their biological responses enough where they can have enough willpower to make it through the day without wanting to eat their own fucking face off, you know? That's why I personally employ keto first thing of the day, and then I eat carbohydrates at night. Like my first meal of the day is nothing but protein and healthy fat.
You know what? While we're on it, so you're a health coach, and a lot of people here, like most people think because, you know, most of my people who watch my shit, honestly, they don't want to look like me. And they don't have the time nor willpower to do the shit I've done over the years. What is your daily diet? What do you recommend for people? Like, take us through like a normal day of what you eat.
Now or before? Before it was like 10 McDoubles and fucking.
Just now, because you look insanely healthy. Like healthier than I've ever seen you look. I feel super. You just look. Your skin looks healthy. Everything looks healthy. Like, what is your eating strategy?
So I don't eat anything until about, like I haven't eaten yet today. So it's 3:00. I'm not even hungry right now. And I've just, part of this is how I've trained my body. And also if you're listening out there, you got to find what works for you. This has been through years of time, test and trial, and I adjust it all the time. But like yesterday's a perfect example. Yesterday I had like, my first meal was about 2, and I think I had, about 12 ounces of grilled steak. I don't weigh shit out, but it was just steak, like just grilled steak. And, then last night I had like a bean chili, and then topped with a little bit of Greek yogurt, and I'll eat veggies throughout the course of the day. Like I'll snack on broccoli. I don't even know how many calories I take in, because I got to be real. I stopped counting calories a long time ago, just because I'm one of those people that started playing that motherfucker like a video game, where I would mentally lie to myself a little bit, like, that's 4 ounces, so it fits in my calories, as if that actually matters. And the weird thing is, like, we play those things like they're, like, it's rock solid. Like, it's so amazing to me how many times we'll get like a morbidly obese, because if a morbidly obese person comes to me to help fix their lifestyle, I'm the last resort. They want the quick fix first. All of them. Everybody.
Yes.
I did. Everybody, you know? So the last thing I want to do is like actually address it. They got to change shit. It's just true, you know? And, when they get to me, most of them are normally counting their calories, and they're like fucking addicted to it. It causes them stress. Well, stress for a person that has a hard time controlling their hunger, not necessarily a good fucking thing.
No.
So let's just I have them take pictures of everything that they eat and send it to me. And then when I talk about portion sizes, I talk about what it is. They'll check in between, like, hey, I'm craving this. So I'll take a look at the food they had earlier. Did this cause an insulin response that might be causing them to crave food more than others? What is their hidden sugars that could possibly be causing an insulin spike? Things like that. Or are they over hungry? Are they trying to over restrict? You know, things like that. But it works a little different for everybody. Like tomorrow will probably be all fish. I'm weird like that. Like it'll probably be an all salmon day. I don't know why. That's just me. And then for probably Saturday. Well, tomorrow's Saturday. Probably Sunday. I'm gonna eat whatever the fuck I want, drink whatever the fuck I want, not worry a fucking thing about it. I normally have a day of the week like that where I'm going to do whatever. I give myself permission to eat this shit, then it seems like I don't overeat because I've given myself permission to eat it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's so different than physical coaching, because me and you could like look at somebody's deadlift form saying like, okay, the bar path is not quite straight up. You're leaning a little too far forward, blah, blah, blah. And that's a visual thing that we have metrics on and stats and stuff like that. Health coaching is more it's more in people's feels. It's more in people's feelings and stuff like that. A lot of our people are in counseling, and we'll oftentimes get linked into their counselors' calls too. That's another, like, I had so many people pissed off at me for not fucking blasting out my friend, like blasting out Jeff and fucking shit like that with the whole fake weights thing. I had so many people pissed at me. I'm like, I had private conversations with this man. If I would ever fucking blast him out, even if I thought he did something wrong, I'm not going to say I did or didn't, because then it would be like me doing it. But if, like, me and you did not get along. We got along. We had a slight falling out, and I never mentioned you again, because once I have private conversations, once I've talked to people about their private lives, their families and shit like that, their name is never going to come out of my mouth publicly negatively ever again. Mm. I find that off. Like, people can say what they want about me, but I have I do have a code of people. I just would not want you to think, or anybody, if I would break that trust, then anybody that's ever friends with me or trust me as a coach, how could they trust me knowing that if they said something I didn't agree with, I would fucking put them on blast?
Like, God forbid there's a falling out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I would never do that,
Yeah, absolutely.
And I put so much shit for that.
Well, I mean, we've already kind of gone. I've already gone over that so much. But you know what? It's part of being on the internet. It's part of being out there, and you're going to take your lumps. Just putting yourself out there, even in a microcosm, Yeah. But it's it's still something I'm not used to, and I don't think I ever will be used to it. But the reason I think I was watching that video from Scott Herman about the whole, like, the reason YouTube fitness, and this is why it's all drama. Like, it's not about, back in the day, it used to actually be about, I was looking through some of my old videos. It was literally, and they would get tons of views just talking about, like, hey, here's how you reach your goals. Here's how you do this. And now it's all about clickbaiting and this guy, and we're arguing about this. And even topics helping people become this political, like, pissing contest. Like, they had a big battle on RPE, I noticed the other day. And I'm like, what the fuck are we even, like, who the fuck has a battle?
How are we arguing over an opinion? It's like, RPE is so subjective. Like, my RPE 8 for any fucking exercise is going to be different if I do a different exercise in front of it. You know what I mean?
That's what it is. People just want to see drama. Thing. People just want to see. Yeah. So it gets to the point where I'm at a point where I just want to help people, and I was telling you the other day, I texted, I'm really excited. Like, we're actually exploring opening a training facility, actually train athletes. And that's what excites me. You know what I mean? That and the whole, if you can look at the supplement side, you're talking about, like, the whole health aspect and how can we help people live longer? How can we help people, become better? How can we help people survive? How can we help people through this pandemic? And I think that's, as you get older and as you realize what's going on, your sense of actually helping people, of altruism, comes about. Yeah. And I think that's where I'm kind of having a disconnect right now with the YouTube community, is that, I think I'm just getting too old for the shit, and I mean, it's to the point where I want to do videos about how to help people, and I only got 5,000 views on the video about, like, COVID and helping people, and here's what I think you should do. And, but I'd rather get 5,000 views doing that than
5,000 people, man.
Yeah. That's a lot of people.
You could have, I mean, what I always put out to people is, like, you very well could have saved somebody's life. You don't know. Yeah. Like, I mean, that's the thing. The video took you a couple hours to make, and you could have saved somebody's life.
You're right.
That's why I love doing, like, the comedy. I fucking love it. I really do, because I mean, I think comedy is almost dead, so I'm going to stick on to it. Like, George Carlin would never be allowed on TV.
No.
Like, and you know what? Okay, then if that's how I'm going to go out, that's how I'm going to go out. Yeah, I mean, like, you guys are going to have to make me go. But I just find it to be such an odd thing that I came in late. Like, all you guys were way in before I was. Like, way in before I was in the YouTube business, right? And it's just, I've seen it change even so much over the time that I've been in. Like, people look at you and, like, oh, your channel's dead, and it's not like, motherfucker, the millionaire doesn't give a fuck what you think. Like, the guy opening up his own training facility probably don't give a fuck what you think. And I always equate it to that. Like, don't get me wrong, we're all dudes, and it's like, we we all have eaten, like, I mean, anybody that says that you're in front of a camera all day long and you don't have an ego can really just fuck off.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have an ego for sure.
Yeah. I'm obviously fucking pretty self-confident. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's not something I lack, it's not something you lack or any of these fucking people lack,
not
right?
At all.
Yeah.
So of course, we can go back and forth, and I don't mind the back and forth because I think good, critically thinking conversation, even heated conversation, produces results when people can keep an open mind and you have two people that can critically think. When you have two people that can actually critically think and understand what the other person's saying, we can talk about anything. I think we don't talk about enough stuff like racism. We should talk about that shit all the time. I've lived in Pittsburgh, Florida, South Carolina, the majority of my adult life, right? People in Pittsburgh are way fucking more racist than people in fucking South Carolina.
God,
and I mean,
so right.
way. And you know how you know? They hide that shit. Like, they hide that shit. At least in South Carolina, it's like fucking out there.
If
like,
if somebody's a racist in the South, they're a racist. They're not going to hide it. They're going to just let it slip. It just comes out. Like we had a neighbor, this 80-year-old woman. I don't know if she's, but when we lived in North Carolina, and she literally, like, she had no idea she was racist. That's how racist she was. Like, we had these sisters, like 5 black sisters, probably. We had 5 black sisters living across, like, moved in across the street. She's like, yeah, well, those ladies across the street, they're blacks. First of all, who calls them blacks? And she's like,
racist people.
But they're actually really nice people. I'm like, okay,
I see what you did there. You assumed how they would act based on how they look.
That's when my wife and I just looked at each other and we're like, okay, we just she's old. Like she lived through like fucking like segregation, like, right? And I'm like, okay, like her mindset, she doesn't understand that that's racist. She just doesn't know any better.
Yeah.
But these, who's the real ones who scare me are the woke liberals who think that they're so elite that they need to protect everybody, that they need to speak for people. You ever wonder why there's no black people at Black Lives Matter rallies? Like there's like no black people. It's all a bunch of purple haired white folks.
It's a bunch of white people that are trying to prove they're not racist because they need people to know they're not racist.
I gotta say, I mean, I mainly communicate with, like, when you see interviews on my channel, the people that come on are mostly people of color.
Yeah, same.
Like, mostly black people, and they all don't. None of them like Black Lives Matter. None of them.
Well, I mean, the organization, you see that. The organization has nothing to do with that phrase. The organization is a political arm. It's amazing how it's gone so far where they got idiot NBA players to put it on their fucking chest. It's written across the goddamn basketball court. I mean, it's gotten so insane.
They were doing the black national anthem at games.
I didn't even know that was a thing until fucking this year.
I did not know there was a black national anthem. I was like, you mean the Pledge of Allegiance? You mean like the Star Spangled Banner?
You mean the actual national anthem?
They're Americans. Because they're Americans. That's actually their national anthem. Like the language for thinkers has been so fucked up. Like, I had some dude on my Facebook. He was like, I said something about Candace Owens or whatever. He was like, oh, that Uncle Tom. I'll say it, that coon. I'm like, so pay attention, man. And if you check out the person's profile, they're big. Like, this person's a racist. This person's a racist. This person's a racist.
Yeah, it's all they talk about.
You have a derogatory name for somebody you are using in a meaningful way to insult them based on their color. That's fucking racism. Like, I mean, like, I'm sorry, that is racism. Like, when you look at that person, like, that black person, I want to insult that person. Like, okay, I want to insult Greg Doucette. So much other shit to pick from. Why would I pick on his color? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't, to me, it just doesn't make sense, Like, I mean, I could easily say that he's not really a deadlifter. He's a rack puller because of, the length of his shins compared to everybody else's means that he's actually doing a below the knee rack pull when he deadlifts. I could say that, but I mean, people would get pissed at me for fucking being an asshole if I would actually say that. But when you equate somebody to, I'm going to call you this name because of the color of your skin, you're a fucking racist.
You're right.
And I've seen so much shit like that where it's just like, you ain't black.
He said that.
Fucking imagine if Donald Trump would have said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. The fucking, chameleon, what is it? Charlemagne the God or whatever. Could you fucking imagine how people would have lost their fucking minds?
It would have been very fun to watch.
The media just controls the narrative. It just shows you they're still powerful. Like Biden is literally the most racist man in government right now because that bird motherfucker is dead. Biden, not only did he eulogize the guy, Biden was one of the most staunch opponents of ending segregation. Like my favorite is I got an argument with someone. I'm like, well, they could change. I'm like, okay, can Donald Trump change? Well, no, he can't. He's just a racist. I'm like, but Biden literally was in government fighting against ending segregation.
He said he didn't want his children to grow up in a racial jungle.
Yes. That sounds pretty fucking
a direct
racist.
Quote. And then he eulogized the Grand Wizard of the KKK.
Not just a KKK guy, like the Grand Wizard.
The Grand Wizard.
What a fucking great title.
No, we're not doing this one again.
No, that's a great title, Matt. It's a great title, man.
Dude, man, I can't even imagine you having to fucking restrain him. Like, my guy's Dustin over here, so I'm getting an interesting look at what other people have to deal with.
No, I mean, it's.
I can very much sympathize where you're at.
Well, I don't really have I have a team of people that just keep me from doing dumb shit every day. I think that's really I'm like, it's like a tiger in a cage, but with bad jokes, it's like, all right, so I can dial it in.
We named a cooking show 2 Jews in an Oven.
So I can dial it in.
God.
Like I had a
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, it's on the Tiger channel right now.
Well, it's a great fucking show. We made egg pancakes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Episode 2 is a matzo PB&J.
I mean,
that is so fucking horrible on so many levels. It's so funny too.
But we're
we're
Jews. I mean, but the thing is, like,
horrible about laughing about that shit, and I never feel horrible about laughing about anything.
But you made it in corporate America. Like right before this podcast, I got off the phone and just closed a huge deal with a huge account, so I can dial it in. But when it comes to shit like this, yeah, there are times. But when it comes to doing my job, I clean up pretty well, and so when it comes to business, like that's what I do. Business is the back end. No pun intended, but the back end of things.
I mean, and real deal. I mean, and this is not. I mean, I'm sure people are going to people are going to say whatever they want about us talking and shit like that. But it takes big fucking balls to be own multiple businesses and then say shit that might be unpopular.
Yeah.
That's my newest, like that's where my crux is with the entire, like I've talked about the entire fitness industry. I just fucking like sometimes to actually be a real person and do a real fucking job and do what you're really fucking supposed to do. Sometimes you have to say shit that people don't like to hear. I don't know how fitness got there. Like fitness got there with the fucking easy diet pills and the fucking take my fucking body type quiz bullshit. Fucking beach shred. How the fuck you doing, Vince? By the way, but I haven't forgotten about you, Vince. But we've gotten there so quickly. Like sometimes you just need to tell people like, no, you actually just need to not eat so fucking.
Yeah, like, people get mad when you call them fat. I use fat like any other word, and I refuse to change.
It's the fucking truth.
I mean, it's a fucking scientific word. You're fat. Like, here's your problem. Like, you need to get unfat. You need to unfuck yourself is kind of what I say. Like, you need to become unfat. And people get mad at that word.
Well, people get mad because like the things that they think associate with it, and this is my take on because I deal with people with food addiction and stuff like that I have for years now. The problem is when people call them fat, like, hey, you're fat. They do not take it as a meaning of their actual physical body state. Okay, they're very well aware of that. They own a mirror, and they
also probably own a scooter.
Time, like, yeah, that was a good one. But most of the time, they have a pretty decent sense of self-loathing. Just to be real, they're upset with the life stage they've got them in. But when people call them fat, they equate that automatically to lazy and bad person because of for whatever reason, and that's why I think people get so like put off on it.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
That and even though I know you were a bigger boy when you were younger, people do not picture you as ever having any type of relation with having any extra weight on you. So I have found that when people that look like they've never been overweight and never had any problems with their weight before, when they say it, people get real pissed. Like, I can say it because there's visual pictures of me being fucking fat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Often, I mean, like they can look for 2 fucking seconds and see that at one point in time I was fucking pushing maximum density. You know? That
reminds me, next photo on Instagram will be me as a fat fuck, just to let people know I've been there. You know, I think that's something that's
smart.
Well, as fitness leaders, and you know, we'll kind of, you know, start winding this down, but as fitness leaders, I think it's our duty to say uncomfortable shit. And during COVID, I think it showed who the real motherfuckers are. And you look at you and you look at me and what we've said about COVID and how we've approached it, not from a whole, like, I didn't approach it from a lockdowns or evil standpoint at first. I approached it as, look, guys, here's how you survive this, in my opinion. Now, I am not an epidemiologist. I'm not a doctor, but I am someone who understands what it takes and what it's like to be healthy. I've spent a larger part of my adult life, in fact, my entire adult life, focusing on health and fitness as part of what I do. Not as entirely what I do. Flavoring protein bars is not that, but it's part of what I do. And so I have as much of a right to give my opinion. Also, I will state this. Every American has a right to give their opinion. You don't need a degree to have an opinion. You don't need qualifications to have an opinion. That's why I hate this new culture of, if you have an opinion contrary to the liberal or the lockdown viewpoint, you automatically are stupid because you don't have the credentials of Fauci or these other people. Let me ask you this. How many times during this pandemic has Fauci actually got it right? Zero. Fat zero. He is the biggest fucking clown and loser in the history of American politics, in the history of American health. He is a complete fucking loser. And the fact that he still gets any airtime, the fact that he's still in any conversation, shows that we are being fucking bamboozled. This guy is a clown. And this guy has the most horrible track record of any public official. That's the word I was looking for. Any public official in the history of this country.
I would agree. Like, even looking back at healthcare, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, I mean, like, that's how I knew it was more than, this is more than just a virus. I mean, it's not a virus. It's not the virus, because the virus is just not that deadly. It does not warrant any of this, you know? And for them to just be fucking scaring people, then you look the fucking, like, I have personally been censored like dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of times for literally, like, the one time I got censored on Facebook. It was because I shared a screenshot from New York City's numbers. Like, I took their numbers from the internet, screenshotted it, and shared it, and said, you can clearly see this is affecting old and sick people. Vast majority, like 5-year-old and sick. And they fucking banned me from fucking posting for 2 days.
Wow.
And I'm like, what the fuck? You know, I mean, like, In My Opinion, of course, channel, my Just Rant channel, YouTube deleted that the other day. Like, they fucking full on deleted it.
What do you think their reasoning is for this, Alan? And I again, it puts us as conspiracy theorists, and, you know, for what it's worth, like, why? Well, why would they do this to people? Why would they hurt people for something that's just a bad cold? Why?
Control.
But why is so you have the media, you have big corporations, you have big tech, and you have the politicians, including Republicans like DeWine in Ohio. Do you think they're all in on it?
It's either all in or they all see the same. Like, I don't know if they've had like coordinated talks, but you can clearly see some governors. I mean, there's no. Like, Gretchen Whitmer should go to jail. Like, Gavin Newsom should go to jail.
Yes.
They're committing treason, like, daily. They
yes.
absolutely are. I don't know, like, just what else for. Just obviously that the far left very much controls the fucking narrative, you know. So I'm not sure the whole, like, reasoning. They probably want. I would imagine the big tech companies want to have somebody in there that's going to be more, I don't know, kind to them. When they think, I mean, Trump's talking about removing 230 protection.
Yeah.
They're going to fucking silence him. I mean, I'm going to argue, by the way, that's an act. I'm going to argue that, like, those people should be in jail too. Jack from Twitter.
Yeah.
The very second that you fucking censor the president of the United States and say this is fake news or disputed, nobody, I don't care who the fuck's in that office, nobody has the authority to like say, especially how they do it in like 2 seconds. They just fucking label him disputed. Like, he's the president of the United States. he could very well have information that none of us fucking know.
Bingo.
So you can't just say, don't trust this. Like they fucking, like Fox News turned off Kayleigh McEnany one day. Like the White House press secretary, we can't confirm this, so I'm going to turn it off. That's not your job. Your job's not to confirm it. You're a news organization, supposedly. You're supposed to just fucking report the fucking news. And I just, when you see, and I don't know about, like, I don't know what the total fucking end game is. I don't act like I do. I will say this, conspiracy theory wise, in a year where UFO conspiracy theorists became UFO experts, everybody can shut the fuck up with that. Like when the Department of Defense, like in April, a lot of people don't remember this. In April, the Department of Defense like declassified that there's UFOs. That's not me being crazy. No. They fucking did that. So call me a conspiracy theorist all you want. That doesn't hold as much weight. You know?
Alan, I was one of the few people screaming from the rooftop that aliens are fucking real, and nobody cared because COVID was happening. I'm like, dude, there's fucking aliens. When I was a kid, man, aliens, Loch Ness Monster, and fucking Sasquatch. Like those were the three fucking things.
That was arguably the scariest time for me.
Yeah,
like that portion of time, because dude, as far as I'm concerned, they're letting us know now because they think something's about to happen. You know, like. That's the only reason why I can think that the government, there's two, either that, something was about to happen, or the government was like, hey, we needed to get this out at some point in time. Well, let's slide this shit in here because people are going to notice. And a lot of people did not fucking notice.
Nope. I said it the other day and they're like, no way. I'm like, fuck. Like it was a big thing. Joe Rogan was like, holy fuck. Like Joe Rogan's where I heard it from. He went off because he's been on the alien thing for a long time.
For a hot minute.
Yeah, but you know, that's 2020. So Alan, we would love to have you back. We're at about the 90, I think it's about time we've saved this for a later date, but we could talk all day, all night. We could talk forever. We have so much to go over. Where can they find you? And of course, I'm going to go buy the book right now, but where can they find you?
Well, you can find me at damncollective.com. That's mine and my wife's website. And that's like kind of the amalgamation of Every Damn Day Fitness and Dan Serenity. My wife also teaches, she runs a great service where she does live and pre-recorded yoga, hit style training, core training classes. Our Damn Collective coaching, we talk to people on a daily basis, weekly conference calls. We help adjust people's nutrition. We actually try to adjust their lifestyle behaviors versus actually just giving them a diet. And you can find that on Damn Collective also. Every Damn Day Fitness is still the YouTube channel. It's the only YouTube channel I have now because they removed my other one. But I also have some other stuff coming up that people will be able to find me at because I saw the writing on the wall a while ago where people that do not fall in line are not going to have the easiest time. So I'm not the type of motherfucker to just wait and be silenced. I'm just going to cut out my own fucking lane.
Yeah.
And we can talk about, like, when I come back on here in a little while, we can talk about that because not only do I want to make sure that me and my wife and other people and our crew, not only do I want to make sure that we have an avenue to say what we want without being censored. I want to be able to have my words. The people that want to hear what I say, I want them to be able to hear them, not be completely censored or suppressed. So we have a few ideas that, maybe here in a week or so we can round back up and we can talk about, because I really want not just like myself, but a bunch of other people to have a different avenue. I think YouTube is a great place. I will always be really, really, really thankful for YouTube, but I've really seen it go in a direction being popular on YouTube right now is not in any degree a matter of how good you are, in my opinion. Being popular on YouTube is how much money you'll spend on advertisements for your channel, and how much you will stick to what narrative they want you to say. If you want to go off script, they clearly do not want you there. And I'm not going to have that. So you'll be able to find a bunch of other places later. But dude, really appreciate you guys having me on.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We'll link all your stuff below, Alan. It's always a pleasure, man. Look forward to a lot more of these in the future, man. And if we don't talk first, happy holidays to you and yours.
Merry Christmas. Even though I'm atheist, I say Merry Christmas.
And happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah. Whatever the fuck you want. Like, I'm an atheist. I don't give a fuck, man. Celebrate. Okay. Like, everybody be happy.
Amen to that.
I get that a lot too. I get a lot of weird shit about that. So anyway, we'll talk about that later. All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Alan. Take care, brother.